This is a sports catastrophe production. Hey there, hello, ho there. It's Jeff Cutter and welcoming you to another sports catastrophe birthday boy. And today's birthday boy on February the 4th is this man, LT Lawrence Taylor. I know I did a New York Giants one for on this day yesterday, but I couldn't decide either him or Denny Savard. And since I'm not really much into Denny Savard's career, despite me being a hockey guy, I decided to go with Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence Taylor today is 62 years old, born on February 4th, 1959. He played his entire career with the New York Giants from 1981 to 1993. He was an All-American at the University of North Carolina from 78 to 81. No, not him, not him. Yeah, it's me, Ology. That's kind of awkward. What do you want now, Mr. Doubter? North Carolina. Since when do they have a football team? Well, a lot of the teams have both football and basketball. And I get what you're saying. Is North Carolina is a basketball school, much most known for having Vince Carter, Sam Perkins, Michael Jordan, Kenny Smith, Tyler Hansbrough, and a lot of other people. But yeah, North Carolina was a decent football team. They have some great players. The great Seal Fowler, Darian Durant went to North Carolina as quarterback. Heck, Julius Peppers went to North Carolina. And so did Lawrence Taylor. Oh, they suck. Well, not bad. They're not bad nowadays. But yeah, a lot of people put more emphasis on the basketball team than the football. That's kind of like Duke in a sense. Now get out of here. Anyway, so LT was drafted second overall in the 1981 NFL draft. Holy bananas. It's like, which team fucked up and didn't take him? More on that later. But anyway, there was a lot of controversy because LT wanted a good rookie contract. But he won several defensive awards after his rookie season. In fact, he's the only NFLer in history to win the AP NFL Defensive Player of the Year in his rookie year. So, honestly, LT deserved it. And no, he did not play in this. His rookie season was not that strike short 1982 season. That was his second season. Throughout the 80s and 90s, he was a force at outside linebacker. He would have a lot of sacks, despite the fact he's a linebacker, and usually the defensive ends and defensive tackles do that. He basically changed defensive game plans around him, defensive pass rushing schemes, and a lot of offensive formations that basically were trying to knock him out. He actually hit double-digit sacks each year from 84 to 90, including one that he had 20 sacks in 1986, which is amazing. He won 3 AP NFL Defensive Player of the Year and actually was named MVP in 1986, the league MVP, not just defense. Whoa. He was only one of 2 defensive players to win this prestigious award. Alan Page in 1971 for the Vikings was the other one. He was part of the Giants defense named the Big Blue Wrecking Crew that basically, after the Giants were rebuilding, after their late 70s patheticness, got them to 2 Super Bowl wins in 1987 and 1991. He helped Carl Banks, Gary Reasons, Brad Van Pelt, Brian Kelly, Pepper Johnson, and Harry Carson, giving the Giants a good linebacker corps. He always had a controversial lifestyle. He had used cocaine a lot. He was suspended for a month for failing drug tests. And his drug abuse was worse after his retirement and was jailed 3 times for drug possession. From 98 to 2009, he looked good. Unfortunately, though, he had sex with a 16-year-old girl. He did plead guilty to sexual misconduct and patronizing a prostitute. He was a low-risk sex offender. So anyway, the University of North Carolina was a pretty good school. He was a defensive lineman for a year at UNC and then became a linebacker and got 16 sacks. He was the ACC, or Atlantic Coast Conference Player of the Year in 1980, which was amazing. In 1981, the New York Giants were second on the clock. The New Orleans Saints went first. And who did they pick? Well, the only logical person in their mind, the Heisman Trophy winner, running back George Rogers from South Carolina, the Gamecocks. So anyway, yeah, New Orleans went with the Heisman winner. Giants went with LT. The Jets didn't do that badly. They picked third and got Freeman McNeil, running back from UCLA, who was a pretty much decent player. Seattle picked Kenny Easley from UCLA, strong safety, and he did pretty well. So the first 4 picks were good. St. Louis kind of dropped the ball with EJ Jr. from Alabama. Well, Alabama's a good school, but EJ Jr. wasn't that good. San Francisco took Ronnie Lott 8th with the draft from USC. Mark May went 20th to Washington, the offensive tackle from Pitt. James Brooks went to San Diego 24th. Auburn, not bad. Other people in the first few rounds that were huge. Neil Lomax, James Wilder, Chris Collinsworth, Mike Singletary was drafted in the 2nd round. San Francisco actually had the pick, but they traded it to Chicago, so that they're great. Howie Long, Ricky Jackson, Andre Franklin, and all that. So basically, yeah. Bum Phillips could have drafted LT, but basically, Bum Phillips didn't want that because he didn't want a guy. No. He didn't like the thing. I guess he may have had troubles because of his attitude. But, the Saints got the Giants decided to take him. LT was not too pleased with Giant Stadium and all that, but he decided to do it all that. George Rogers basically had a decent career, but he couldn't get out of the shadow of who was picked number 2, and that was LT. Basically, LT had a love-hate relationship and all that. He did pretty good for himself. LT was not too cool. LT had issues. Like, he was a good linebacker, but, personal demons may have gotten him. His last season was the 93 season, in which the Giants and Cowboys were fighting tooth and nail. On the final day of the regular season, the winner got to not only win the NFC East, but they got the 1 seed in the NFC playoffs. Sadly, though, the Giants lost in overtime on home turf to the Cowboys, despite Emmitt Smith's injury. Taylor got 6 sacks in his final year. They beat the Vikings in the first round, but then San Francisco beat the tar out of the Giants, 44-3. So Taylor ended his career with 132.5 sacks. Not counting the 9.5 sacks he recorded as a rookie, because sacks was not official until 1982, which was pathetic in my mind. But that turned out to be 142. 9 interceptions for 2 touchdowns. 33 forced fumbles. That's not bad. He was a legacy. And basically, LT was making offensive coordinators try to change things. Unfortunately, though, LT was using drugs by his rookie season. So basically, he was trouble. And, he had a lot of drug habits and all that. He tested positive for cocaine in 87 and admitted it. He failed another drug test and got a 30-day suspension. He basically abstained from drugs until his retirement because he knew that 3 strikes are out. But unfortunately, he had troubles and all that. However, LT fixed his problems. By 2000, he was basically doing a lot of things. So he did pretty well for himself. He was in The Waterboy in a cameo. He was in Any Given Sunday. He did pretty good. He was part of Blitz the League. How that? LT got to the Hall of Fame in 1999, which was good. And all that. But unfortunately, he got in trouble with the law and all that. But yeah, he was a Giants icon. And he'll always be an icon despite his legal ramifications. So, yeah, LT is a good player. Give him credit. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. Ado.